read a study, I can't even remember where, but they said that most people will end up marrying somebody from their neighbourhood. Like from someone who lived down the road from them. They may not have ever known them, but their upbringing is very, very similar.
Being born and raised in Australia, Becca Quinn got married with a local Singaporean, Shafiq Soom. It was love at first sight for Becca when she met Shafiq in Singapore while on a backpacking trip. She was attracted to the calmness she saw in him. However, their relationship only started when they met again in Vietnam, where Becca was having a teaching career there while Shafiq was on a holiday trip. Nevertheless, it wasn't easy for Shafiq and Becca. Religion was a huge obstacle they had to overcome at the start of the relationship, as Becca does not know much about Islam.
Yeah, he was in Germany for 3 months, and I decided to go and take some classes just to understand what it was about, and I was surprised at what I was learning. Yeah, and so actually I didn't have any big changes in my beliefs. I'd already believed in God and certain things, so it's not like I went from atheism to Islam or anything. And I suppose I was always interested in spirituality, so it didn't turn out in the end to be a huge issue. It was something I was interested in. And I suppose it's a bit of a joke that just before he met me, he had started praying and said, please, I want to meet a pious wife, and that would teach him about his religion. And I turned up on the doorstep, which is a big joke because I wasn't quite pious. And but I taught him about his religion because I was always asking these questions that he couldn't answer.
It's about us doing things together. I would say that there are some things that we have to be really, really patient with each other, especially when it comes to religion, because it's such a personal and sensitive topic. But I guess because we had to go for classes together and all that stuff, it sort of like further strengthened the bond between us. I mean, it's like we knew that we were in this together, so we might as well do it together.
Although the couple is still working to overcome differing religious views, they were thrown into more hurdles of obstacles, as miscommunications and cultural differences do affect their relationship. For instance, Shafiq's mother could not converse in English fluently, and hence makes communication difficult between her and Becca.
For my family, my mom basically, most of the time she would converse in Malay. She could speak English, but it's not to the same level that Rebecca is talking in. So, but I guess along the way there was some miscommunication, but it was more like those minor miscommunications. But overall, I think they managed to get along with each other. They managed to understand with each other.
It's both been a big learning curve, I think, for everybody, and also learning the difference between customs and religions, like culture and religion. Sometimes it gets quite interlinked, and so I think that was like probably a big learning curve for you.
Becca and Shafiq have received blessings from their families. However, Becca did not inform her grandparents about her conversion to Islam. Despite so, they are clear of their marriage.
I'm not sure now if they know or not. We haven't, directly told them. I don't think they would directly ask either. So, yeah, I'm not sure. Like, I told my immediate family and my close friends, and then apart from that, I've just kind of let it go. And I know, some of my aunts and stuff know. So whether they told my grandparents, I'm not sure, but yeah, because I mean they're strict Catholics, so I think it would really upset them, and they're very, very old too. They're in their 90s, Yeah, so it's just mum and dad were like, okay, we're cool with it, but don't tell your grandparents. So that's we just decided to let that one go. But they know Shafiq's a Muslim, and we turn up and they always, they won't cook pork, and my grandma really, really likes him. I suppose, it's easy just to get carried away with being in love, and then, when the discussion of marriage actually comes to it, and then, the family would also be involved. If you don't have their approval, if you haven't discussed seriously about, the issues that may come up, it would be one of the biggest factors is communication and family's approval.
Over the past few years, the number of interracial marriages have been on the rise. According to the Department of Statistics Singapore, there were more than 5,000 such marriages in 2012, almost double the number in 2001. Such marriages were more prevalent among Malays than other ethnic groups. Despite the huge jump over the decade, the percentage of interracial marriages takes up 80% of the total number of marriages in 2012. So, has Singaporeans really become more accepting to interracial relationships?
I mean, it's something that is, since we are in a multi-racial country, it's all around us. It's only based on acceptance, and to me, I think it's a wonderful thing that we can share our different ways with everyone else, and it keeps us bonded together. Yeah, and you get to learn more. Why not, right?
I think it's a very nice thing because you get a lot of cross-cultural, fertilization. You get a lot of ideas, and I am myself married to a Vietnamese. I'm finding that a very rich and rewarding experience.
But I think in the context of perhaps more traditional countries like China or Vietnam, neighboring Asian countries, I think it's still not that widely accepted because I think especially Chinese traditional families think that the bloodline cannot be polluted or diluted, tinted. Yeah. So in Singapore, I think it's okay.
Yeah, it's okay. It's very common.
Amelia Tan, coming from an interracial marriage family, whom her mother is a Chinese while her biological father is Malay. Amelia is currently in a relationship with her Malay boyfriend for the past 2 years. Unlike Becca, who has support from her family, Amelia's parents decisively disapproved their daughter's relationship due to Amelia's mother's past broken marriage with a Malay man.
For me, it's both, because my mom is brought up in a more modern thinking family, while my dad is more of a traditional thinking. So when both of them together, there's such a clash, such as like when my mom is with me alone, she don't allow me to date other races because she's scared I may get bullied, because she know that I'm very easily get influenced and whatever. So, and someone last time when she's young, she met unfriendly people, so she's afraid that I'm being hurt and all. So as a mom, she's trying to protect me. Unfriendly means, like, for example, when she's a teenager she will get bullied and like harsh words, or they tend to be more violent, so like to her and so like boyfriend and whatever quite violent to her, so she didn't really like it because she dated quite a number of like races also. So she don't want me to be like her like get bullied and get treated in a way whereby girls shouldn't be treated. So that's why she don't like me to hang out with.
No way, I don't bully her.
Other. Sure.
The relationship between Amelia and Shazli is definitely not new to their later parents. In addition, Shazli's parents are well aware of Amelia's mother history. They are able to sympathize with her situation. However, Shazli's parents are still baffled by the blatant stereotypes against Malays, as they feel that their son was not given a proper opportunity to prove himself as a man who is worthy of their daughter.
I guess maybe it could be generational thinking and terrible stereotypes of the Malay community. I'm not saying that the Malay community is that bad, but as in each culture has its own stereotypes, good or bad. And I guess maybe in their generation, the Malay stereotypes, the stereotypes of the Malay community may not be that great, and therefore they might have very strong objections towards me and this relationship at all.
Despite the strong stereotypes held by Amelia's parents, the couple still hoped for the day that their parents would open up and give Shazli a chance to prove otherwise. In contrast, even with the vast differences in culture between Becca and Shafiq, they are still able to come together as one with love and support from their families and friends. As Singapore is becoming more cosmopolitan and open-minded, it is clear that with time, the differences between races can be bridged since interracial relationships and marriages are being seen as a norm now.